And hello again, everybody, and we're on location at American Pie Pizzeria with Coach Al Thomas. Coach Al Thomas Show, a weekly look at Wolves softball into the brand new season and into conference play before you can blink an eye. And Coach, we're here on the eve of the Georgia College visit, but you've been on the road for 10 ball games against good competition, and welcome back home.
Well, thank you. Thanks. The way our conference softball is set up, basically the third weekend in February we have to start conference play, as opposed to other, like a Peach Belt will start in mid-March. And so it limits us on the opportunity to get outside the conference. And so I try to use the first 2 weekends to go play a minimum of 5 games, which will give us usually 10 games under our belt before we have to kick off conference play.
And formats like that, going to Gulf Shores, going to Florida, you can learn a lot about, as you're trying to put pieces together, you'll learn a lot about your team, especially against good competition, and you certainly played that.
Well, and that's that's the reason that we go. In order to be ranked in the region, you have to play in region teams, like from the Sunshine State, for instance. And we beat each other up so badly in the Gulf South that when we're competing for those slots, and the Sunshine State's teams sometimes have better records because their schedule's not nearly as tough. So if I can go match up with some of those teams and win a game or two, then that elevates us in that region ranking at the end of the year, which is so critical.
Well, if you get everybody healthy, it'll be fun to watch as this team continues to grow. You've kind of fought that the first 2 weeks, haven't you?
It is. It's been tough. We've had a series of injuries. And we're no different than most Division II schools that play softball. You're not too deep at every position. And so if you get a couple of critical injuries or illnesses going on and there's a big hole in the lineup. And for us, that's kind of happened to us. But it also is a positive because it gives other young ladies a chance to step up and see what they can do and put them in positions which you can't replicate in practice. When you have an umpire in the crowd and you get in the box or you get in a circle to pitch, you can't replicate that at practice. So we have opportunities in these absences that hopefully we can mature and have some people that can play when we need them to.
We're with Coach Al Thomas today at American Pie, your hometown pizzeria, the preferred Italian pie of West Georgia Wolves athletics. What's been good about the team in these 2 first weekends? What do you like, Coach?
Well, we started and finished with the same number of kids on the bus, so that was a positive. A little hospital visit and the ER visit, but what we went with, we came home with. Okay,
that helps.
That's a positive. We saw some good things. Our pitching really performed well in this 10 game span, and that's what we really needed to improve upon last year. Unfortunately, our hitting kind of fell off, but that goes hand in hand with the competition you're playing. When you match up with some of the number ones on the teams we're playing, it's going to be a 1-run ball game. It could be 1-0 or 2-1. And so we didn't get any breaks, and I'm not trying to that use as an excuse, but breaks happen throughout the game, and we could square one up and hit it right at somebody, and our opponent would get a blooper and it'd fall in between the infield and the outfield. But those all even out. But we feel like the pitching performed. I felt like except in just a couple of isolated cases, our defense was fairly solid with the lineup that we had, but our hitting just didn't come through. And kids get that adrenaline flowing, and then they know everything's on the line, and any little mistake you made, if it's a 0-0 ball game, now it's amplified. And so that's the things that we have to cure our nerves a little bit and try to calm that adrenaline down just a bit, and I think we'll be okay.
Conference weekend, you're almost certainly going to see the other guy's number one twice, and you saw a lot of number ones in these tournaments, didn't you?
Well, and that's the luck of the draw is when you go into a series that's a 5 games and you're playing 5 different teams, you could see 5 number ones, which in essence that's basically what happened to us. And if you're playing a 3-game series or a doubleheader, then you'll have a number 1 and a number 2 going. We're about three or four pitchers deep that are pretty good, where other teams may only have one. So, in this particular case, we did face everybody's number 1, but I didn't pitch like what I would call a 1 or a 2. I spread ours out with everybody on staff.
Well, you got Georgia College non-conference coming up. A good ball club year in and year out. What are you going to see out of that?
Well, yeah, they went over to the Charger Chill Out this past weekend and performed well. And Jamie Gradecki is their coach, and I've known Jamie back in the days when she was at St. Pete Community College coaching softball, and she's a product of Les Studeman. She played for Huntsville, and Jamie does just a great job, and her kids are disciplined. Her kids are sometimes they overachieve, and when you look out there, somebody's doing something you didn't really think was possible. So it's gonna be tough for us, but we wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, the conference gets started this weekend, Shorter coming in. Before that, Gulf South Conference. Is there a league anywhere in America as deep in good teams as this one?
No, and you can just go look at the record books of the teams from the Gulf South and what they've done when they made it to the World Series. What is unfortunate is there's no crossover in Division II, where you go to a regional and they spread you out. In D2 in our region, we have to beat each other to make it to the next level. Where really, in essence, if it was taking the top 8 teams in the country and they would send some of our teams over to another region, you may have 3 or 4 Gulf South teams playing in the World Series.
And I think other leagues are a little maybe jealous of that. That's why the system is what it is. Shorter, a team that's year in and year out. You built a great program there, and I know they still take a lot of pride in softball.
They do, and they've got a really good nucleus of seniors and great kids, great young ladies. We didn't really watch them play because we're all playing at the same time, but they were at Gulf Shores a weekend ago and had a couple of really good games. They got really a good ace on the mound that throws great drop ball, and so we got our work cut out for us, and it seems like there's a little incentive every time that we have to match up with them. So
a little bit. Next door neighbors, conference opener, and what do you think about opening conference in mid-February?
Well, because we have so many teams in the conference, we have to do it that way, but it's not the way I would like to do it. I would like to get about at least 3 or 4 weeks under your belt before you start marching into conference play, but this is the hand dealt us, and that's what we'll go with.
Obviously a big item to get a chance to get off to a good start in league play, and you get to do it at home. That has to help a little bit.
Yeah, our home games are thin this year. Our non-conference games, I think we're only playing 2 Wednesday games that are at home, and because last year we'd had a few home games that we have to reciprocate this year so every home contest is so important for our kids and the West Georgia family to come out and watch play, and so we're really looking forward to it.
Saturday Twin Bills, Sunday single with the Shorter Hawks, midweek against Georgia College. The Bobcats in on Wednesday, and then conference play this weekend. Coach Thomas, look forward to visiting through the year, and let's get ready to have a great 2019.
Absolutely. Go Wolves.
Coach Al Thomas, and it's the Coach Al Thomas Show, a weekly look at West Georgia Wolves softball, hosted today at American Pie Pizzeria, a proud corporate partner of your West Georgia Wolves. See ya at University Field this weekend, and go Wolves.